as we track reaction from today's verdict. Let's get now to Madison Wade, right by the Manuel-Ellis Memorial in Tacoma. Madison, it seems like it's a lot louder right there.
Jessica and Steve, this rally is happening right now here at 11th and Martin Luther King Jr. Way in Tacoma, only a few short blocks from where that verdict was read around 3 o'clock today. I want to bring in now James Bible. He is the family attorney for the Ellis family, joining me live here on King 5. Thank you for your time, sir. I know this is a lot of emotions today for you, especially being in the courtroom. Throughout this process, hearing the verdict announced today, what was your reaction?
Well, in reality, this particular verdict is devastating to hear. It's devastating to hear because I know that Mr. Ellis, as he was walking down the street with donuts in hand, was accosted by police officers. It was on video. 3 separate independent civilian witnesses said Manny Ellis had done nothing wrong, and we also got to hear Manny's words. Manny's words were, "I can't breathe, sir." We got to see Manny in the video with his hands up like this. And if an officer can't be prosecuted and then convicted of some form of crime, when a person says, "I can't breathe, sir," has their hands up like this, they're tased repeatedly, beaten repeatedly over again, choked, and then hogtied, then we have a system of justice that frankly doesn't care about black bodies and honors officers over people to such a degree that justice will never be served. And this particular judge in this circumstance, I absolutely believe tilted the balance of justice with his thumb and with his words in such a way that a fair trial was not held in this circumstance, and that is precisely why we'll be moving forward in such a way where we'll be seeking some action from the U.S. Attorney's Office. This is exactly that sort of case. Traditionally, in cases similar to this one, civil rights criminal charges have been filed by the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we hope for that here as well. The other reality is that Manny Ellis sadly joins the ranks of Freddie Gray and Trayvon Martin as people that were in a space where justice should have been served, but their families were victimized a second time. The reality is we know these police officers' history. We know the history that wasn't allowed. We know that the officers some of the officers have a history of racial profiling. We know that one of the officers had significant trouble at the academy, Officer Rankine, where he committed an act in a simulation that no other person actually committed. We know of these variety of issues, and we're going to pursue them in other forms, in other litigation. And the reality is, too, we still believe other officers should have been charged, including an Officer Farinas, who was the person that put the spit mask, which we liken to a noose in many ways in this circumstance, over Manny's head, and they all watched him breathe his last breath.
So right now the verdict was announced today, but you're not done representing the Ellis family and continuing in the civil rights possible litigation down in the future?
Absolutely, and what we would say is acquittal does not mean innocence, and we know that these officers did wrong to this family, this community, and our taxpayers. And the reality is we're going to push every day to make sure that they understand how we feel about precisely what they did.
James Bible, thank you for joining us, the attorney for the Ellis family, right here, happening at the rally just hours after the verdict was announced. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So this rally officially was supposed to start at 6 o'clock tonight, but as you can see, there are hundreds of people here gathering now at 11th and MLK. We just heard from James Bible there, the family attorney for the Ellis family, saying that just because the verdict was announced today, not guilty, does not mean that his job is done representing the Ellis family. They're looking at possible litigation in the civil rights world, and we will learn more from him in the coming days about those next steps that the family attorney will be taking here in Tacoma. Of course, this rally is continuing to happen. All the streets are blocked off here at 11th and MLK. As you see, many people are gathering in the middle right now, saying justice for Manny Ellis. "I can't breathe, sir," which you just heard James Bible say were his last words that were heard in court, Manuel Ellis's last words. We are going to continue to talk to people out here, including hopefully to hear hear from Manuel Ellis's family here in Tacoma as this rally continues, again happening at 11th and MLK. Many people are gathered here, but it is very peaceful. We do know there is some profanity. We are trying to stay away from that as much as we can, but we will continue to cover this rally for you, and we'll bring you the latest from here in Tacoma. Back to you.
It has grown since we first checked in with you, Madison. Thank you for the updates, and we'll check in with you throughout the hour.